like Predators, Fox wants to make this movie, and based on an old script that I had, to kind of reboot that franchise, because they thought it kind of went the wrong direction with the Alien versus Predator movies, and they thought, let's try to restart this, because the Predator is just a great character, and we like your old script from '94, and go make it don't make it a studio movie, go make it a troublemaker, and do your thing with it, and we'll give you creative freedom, and we'll know you make it for less than we would spend, and you'll probably come up with something better, because you'll be down there doing it with your guys, and bringing in the best people, and people that are just real Predator fans. So that's happening. We're already putting that together. That comes out supposedly next year, so that's going to be great. Great director working on it. We've got writers. Got a really great draft already, and Kane B's already doing effects, and it's just bringing to life. It's fun overseeing the studio at that level. Usually the studio is just my own personal playground. I'm probably the only filmmaker in the United States who has his own dedicated sound stages for his own movies, and I just kind of left it that way. I didn't really rent it out to other movies. I didn't really want to produce other people's movies, because I thought it just kind of, what does a producer do? He just kind of sits there and watches movies get made. I don't know. I felt like I wanted to be more involved, and I found that with Sin City, I was able to do that, where I could really be part of the process. Shoot, I'll go on the set and shoot some stuff. I'll be able to be right there in my backyard. So I get to be really involved, and so that makes it fun. That feels like I'm making more movies than I would be able to do if I was just doing like I normally do, where I write, direct, edit, produce, score, and all that. I get to do only half those jobs. But on a cool project that I still want to do, otherwise I wouldn't get to be involved with it at all. So that's happening right now. What's also happening right now is Machete. Really, that one I came up with in '93. I think I talked with Danny about that in '95 on Desperado, so it's been a long time coming. But if you like the trailer, has anyone seen the trailer? My whole thing when we first got into this, well, it's gotta be as good as the trailer. It's gotta be as good as the trailer, and it's beyond the trailer. You're gonna be blown away when you see what we've come up with, and the cast is crazy. I can't say it ain't just Alba. I can't say anything of who we're casting in this movie that we've signed or anything. So, but it's getting pretty out of control. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, and we start that very soon, like in a couple of weeks. So, what was the rest of your question? Oh, Sin City 2. Oh, so that's my advance card for this year. I still owe Weinstein's another movie that I'm finishing writing right now. So that's my year's pretty full for this year. So next year would have to be Sin City 2. Yes, sir.
Quick question about From Dusk Till Dawn. I heard that you wrote, that Quentin Tarantino wrote the opening and you wrote the ending. If that's true, why did you do that, and would you think about doing that again?
No, it's not exactly true. Quentin had written a draft a long time before we did it for
A&B.
a couple of the guys from K&B who wanted to do an effects movie, a vampire movie. And Quentin was so into these two characters, half the movie ended up being these sort of the brothers sort of desperate hours situation, and it turned into elongating those characters before he was putting off the vampire section as long as he could, because he loved those characters. And that's why it ended up becoming this movie that they couldn't sell, because it was split right down the middle. And then Reservoir Dogs hit, and then Pulp Fiction hit, and Natural Born Killers got bought, and True Romance got bought. And he was starting to steal things out of that draft. I noticed like the Ezekiel speech from Pulp Fiction was originally in Dusk Till Dawn. And I was like, there ain't gonna be nothing left of this script if you keep stealing from it. I think we should get the rights back, so you don't have the rights anymore, and make it. He had said, you should make this movie, because you're all about that. It takes place half in Mexico. And so I said, he just did Desperado. Well, you can do your cool Desperado thing and all that. And he said, we could. And I said, well, yeah, let's do it together. If you do a rewrite on it, and I'll direct it, and I want to cast you in it. It's the Psycho brother. So he's like, shit, let's do it. So he went and he did this rewrite, and he rewrote it and rewrote it all the way up until his character died, and then he was tired, and that's as far as he got. So, and which was going to be fine because we'd be able to figure it out. But because there was this whole crew strike, not a crew strike, it was a union thing. Back then, they didn't have long story short, we had to shoot the movie out of order. We had to shoot the second half first. So we shot that on stage first, the second half, and then we shot the first half. So that made it even more two different movies. So we were there shooting, and we were just making up stuff, like all those battles I was just making up. So I didn't really write it, but I did come up with just a lot of those gags that happened weren't written in the script. You see the original script, then you'll see what stuff was actually made up and what was improvised. But I didn't consider that writing. That's just directly flared, like crotch gun and all that kind of stuff. It's stuff I just brought over from Desperado that didn't work originally, and I know I can still make that work. I still believe in that idea. He still doesn't know. I told him, and I just figure when I tell him there's no Easter Bunny, there's no Santa Claus, I'll say, by the way, he died in that movie. What you think? Figure, hey, look, you lie about all that other stuff. Why not that too? I did shoot another version where he lives all the way to the end, so technically there are two versions. But yeah, there was a good anti-gun message that went along with his demise that I can always claim was the real underlying reason. Yes?
Hi, so first off, I just want to say, because of you, my teenage brother now knows how to cook. Well, very well. So props to your 10-minute cooking school.
Thank you.
Any thoughts of putting a family favorite recipe on the show?
Yes, there is going to be our yes.
Awesome, very good. And any
Our
more?
chocolate chunk volcano cookies are going on.
That's amazing. I'm looking forward to that.
And chocolate.
And I know you've probably been asked this a lot, but any word on getting the super secret recipe from Planet Terror of the barbecue recipe?
I just finished that. That cooking school to be on the Grindhouse DVD. The DVD that puts both movies together. That's the one.
Great. I was hoping that would come out.
And it came out really good. That's the best of the cooking schools.
I can't wait.
Let's see.
Thank you so much. You're an inspiration.
Thank you. That cooking school thing turned out really funny because it was just one of those things where I always have a 10-minute filmmaking school, But I know that everybody sitting there watching can't always just get up and go make a movie right then, but they see the cooking school and they go, oh, well, I can't go to the kitchen right now and cook. And I didn't realize it was that much of a challenge that I put in there because I said, not knowing how to cook is like not knowing how to. And I think some people probably took some offense to that because I've got so many people come up to me. There's one guy comes up and he's like, hey, I made that cochinito thing. I was like, oh, you cook? Yeah, I cook.